Hey guys, I'm back again, a week later, but still close to my goals. I am going to read you the first chapter of the final op, which is the very last book in my, the op trilogy. If you're new to my writing journey, you don't know that the last op was my very first novella, so this is it's a big deal closing this little trilogy out. And I will always thank my screenwriting teacher for giving me that initial idea and just turning it into something. So anyway, I'll quit rambling and I will read to you the first chapter of the final op. Should have gotten it beforehand. Chapter 1, The Briefing. The conference room hadn't changed in 15 years. Same muted gray walls, same scarred table, same faint hum from the overhead lights that never quite shut up. Edward Dario took it in with detached awareness of a man who'd learned long ago not to expect sentiment from government buildings. This was supposed to be his last time here. Krista James sat across from him, one ankle crossed neatly over the other, posture relaxed but alert. She looked exactly like what she was, an agent who belonged in the room. Not the college sophomore he'd first recruited, not the student pretending not to be terrified. This Krista wore confidence like a second skin. Edward watched her from the corner of his eye as the briefing folder slid across the table. Final field assignment, the handler said, tone deliberately neutral. Contained operation, no international escalation, low collateral risk. Edward almost smiled. Low risk was a myth they told themselves so they could sleep at night. Krista reached for the folder before he did. Of course she did. Her fingers skimmed the pages with practiced ease, eyes moving quickly, efficiently. She didn't miss details anymore. She hunted them. Edward felt the familiar pull, the instinct to lean in, to double-check, to shield. He resisted it. That reflex belonged to an older version of himself, one he was trying to retire alongside the badge. One last op, Krista said lightly, glancing up at him. Feels poetic. He huffed a quiet breath. You always did like endings. Only the earned ones. The handler continued. Locations, timelines, exit strategies, but Edward's attention snagged when Krista's expression shifted, just for a second, too fast for anyone else to notice. She pressed her lips together, inhaled slowly through her nose. You okay, he murmured, low enough that the handler didn't pause. Fine, she said immediately, too quickly. Then she softened it with a half smile. Just hungry. Edward frowned, but before he could press, the handler stood. Your wheel's up in 48 hours. This is it, Dario. Edward rose with the stiffness he pretended not to notice. Then let's not waste it. Krista stood too, steady as ever. She gathered the folder, tucked it under her arm, and met Edward's gaze. There was something there, something unreadable. Not fear, not doubt, calculation. As they walked out of the room, side by side, Edward felt it again, that quiet sense of imbalance, like a floorboard that didn't creak until it was too late. He told himself it was nerves. Endings had a way of doing that. Krista kept walking, shoulders squared, steps short, and Edward followed her, unaware that this mission, unlike all the others, was already counting something neither of them had planned to lose. All right, that's the first chapter. Go back and read the other ones. These stories really need to be read as a trilogy. Really hope you enjoyed it, and I'm just so glad to be back here with you guys. Have a great night.